Say every family has got a silver lining. They say that there's no family that does not have problems. Or they say in our language, "Ga gona pula e sa ne- ga gona ntlo e sa neleng," which clearly translates to every house has got a problem. And we're talking about households today. We're talking about families. We're talking about parents. I think that's our focus for today. Parents. Abazali bethu. And a lot of things that they are bottling up. But anyway, it's got to be worth an experience.
Yeah.
Welcome to True Syrup, the podcast. I am Press, and this is
Lebo Munchus.
So Lebo Munchusi. There's a lot of things that our families are up to. When we say that every house has got issues, in more cases than one, are we implying to money problems, or implying to what building processes? What are we implying when we say every family has got a problem? Because it's not just about families, it's every family, or not certain families, even families that we think they are well off. They seem to be having a lot of issues. Why do you think what do you think is the big deal when this saying comes into play that says every family has got issues? What are those issues?
I think from my side, the money issue thing, it's a given.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody can shy away from it. But I think particularly when they tell people that every household has got issues, they're talking about things that are not seen. Because when it comes to money, it's easy looking at the state of the house, if ever the money is there or not. And even if you at the point where, let's say you've built a big house, once the house is not well maintained and you can see, let's say the paint has worn out, that's an indication that somehow financially maybe they're not in a position to fix that. So when it comes to money, it's something that's very evident and easy to detect if ever there's an issue or not. However, though, when they talk about this, they talk about the unseen one. Things that's why they say what happens behind closed doors.
Oh, yes.
That's what they're talking about. That what's happening closed doors. There was this one lady who likes to say that should all these houses and by a miracle or something happens, then everything that happens inside is put on the street. People will be shocked as to what's happening behind closed doors and behind the big walls that we have put on our household. But I think in a nutshell, I think it's referring to the unseen, the unspoken stuff.
And those ones are usually the ones that hit hard. Yeah?
Those are the dangerous ones, honestly speaking. Those are the most damaging ones ever. And I think it's because as well as that's why they're so dangerous and they are hidden, because not everybody is bold enough to put it out there.
But why?
Enough to even discuss it.
Because I've seen in more cases you'll find that women are the ones who are bearing a lot of whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, but they're bearing a lot of family secrets that they don't want people to know. Do you think there's going to be a time when a woman is like you're saying, that some things are deep and some things are like people are not bold enough to talk about them? Do you think they are trying to protect themselves, or are they generally trying to protect the family values, which they are busy portraying outside?
I think, honestly speaking, I think most people suffer, I call it a disease. They suffer from this disease of batho ba ka reng.
Yeah.
What will people say? So I think that's usually the main reason why people hide certain things. Because remember, like you say, once we're out there, we're giving other people a certain perception about us and not necessarily exposing the truth. So I think the main reason is that, yes, the other ones is maybe they're protecting, they're ashamed of what they've done or what's actually happening, and or you don't know, you don't want people to find out, but it's the same thing. You are worried about people.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I'm keeping this thing because this is what's best for the family, that it's kept within, it's not supposed to go out. So when we keep it and we have this thing going on, it's because we're protecting everyone within the household. In most cases, it's not. It's usually about what will people say when they find out this. At church, if ever they find out I'm this type of person. In my neighborhood, my friends, or whoever it might be within the society, we've got this image that we want to portray to other people. But which is quite sad, because then you're not only lying to people, not that you owe them an explanation, but I think it's sad because you're lying to yourself. You are unable to deal with whatever you need to deal with it openly and honestly with yourself, because now when you don't put it out there, that means even in your own space, you don't even want to discuss it. You don't want it to come out. So you're not doing yourself any favor by not addressing whatever it is that's causing the rain to just go into your household.
And while you're talking about that, I'm thinking of a lot of things that might people, titles in the community, titles in church, titles in business holdings, and titles within your own family in terms of your extended families and wara wara and wara wara. They know press like this, this world know me like this guy who's up front and who takes care of whatever that he needs to take care of. But back at home, your kids are crying, your wife is crying, and you have other kids outside of your marriage which you are not claiming. So there's all of these things that people are trying to protect, or else once you leave your house, you're a good person. But people will come to your wife and say, your husband is such a beautiful person. He has done 1, 2, 3.
And by that time, the wife is just rolling her eyes.
Do you understand?
Like,
and even the kids,
the kids like, who?
Who? You understand? Yeah. So there's that disconnection from family.
And ideally, your family should be the one who were to be the one who to talk good about you.
Yeah.
And then the rest should follow, not the other way around.
Yeah.
You can't be a superhero out there and then when you matter most. Because here's the thing, sometimes we try to please people who don't actually care about us. And then the ones who we need to care for and to please them, the people who really care for you, then you sideline them and not treat them otherwise, which I think it's very sad for us to put ourselves through such way at your household. Then that's where I think if ever you can do that, where when I'm at home I'm like this and people must know, then osele. I think I think then low in yourself, you're just a danger to yourself, because clearly you can just change your spot.
Yeah.
Just like that. Then clearly you are very dangerous to yourself. Because honestly, I'm not saying we are perfect, but can we try thrive to be consistent in what we do? That whether I'm at home, whether I'm whatever, I'm known for this caring.
You are the same person as you are at home.
Yeah.
And that talks to, we now demanding our kids to carry the secrets for us. As parents out there, our kids are now bearing the fact that your father is abusive or the mother is abusive, only because we are trying to protect a certain image.
But here's the thing, as much as the kids, let's say, like the example you've put in there, the abuse, let's say we are exposed to an abuse within the household. The thing about that is that it also impacts me as a child, seeing my parent, whether it can be a mother or father, because it's not only men who abuse their partner, there are also women out there who do abuse men. How can I respect you as my parent while you're doing these things? Like, how are you gonna come to me as a parent and reprimand me as Ulebo in whatever area, while I know for a fact what type of person you are? I'm not saying parents should be perfect, but we look up to them. They are our leaders.
Yeah.
So even if they've got a shortcoming or they're not perfect in one area, they've got a weakness, own it up, man up to it. Don't act as if it doesn't exist. You know, I know you are this. I know you maybe as my father, you've got kids all over that you're not even taking accountability for. And then you come to the household and you want to act like a perfect father.
Yeah.
How can I respect when you come to me and tell me whether I'm your son or your daughter and you want to give me guidelines or advice as to how to become a better person? Even if you come up as a father with valid points, chances of me listening to you are like zilch. Because I'll be looking at you it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And obviously, as a child, I don't think I'll come back and say, but you busy when I got 1, 2, 3, because that they're gonna come back and say you are disrespectful.
Yeah.
So how would you deal with your own parents if ever you knew there's a secret and they acting as if there's no secret and you don't know it? Okay, most cases they don't know that you know about it.
Yeah. Because like that's why I was putting on the titles that we have in a community. Your father might be a muruti or a pastor in a church, but when we go home, he's not a pastor anymore. He does not live with the same principles as he's preaching in church. Your mother might be a community leader who is supposed to elevate women, but at home she's a different type of a beast. I remember growing up, we used to be so smart at kids, and I think every child has done this, where whenever there are guests,
Yeah.
that's when you realize this is an opportunity for me to ask for anything.
Yes. Because you know when they see certain
Exactly.
people, they behave in a certain way.
Exactly. You know, and I don't know what the kids of today are doing, but we used to
They
do
still
it.
do it.
So I realized that kids are very smart.
Yeah.
At a certain point, they realize that, oh, this woman becomes very relaxed when there are people around. That it
Very
means I can
nice.
ask for anything. And very, very, you're going to get it. That's what I've realized, that our parents are trying to show off to other people that they're actually good parents. They'll tell, no, take it, go and buy whatever you want.
Lena will capitalize on it.
Do you understand what I mean? So we used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
But when the people have left, it's back to square one. Like you literally back to square one where you don't get anything for free. There must be something that you are doing. So we grew up understanding that certain things are not for us as kids, but they involve us, you know. Take for example, the rate of abortion amongst teenagers. You'll find that this was discussed within a family. A lot of rape or GBV that is happening in the families. You realize that I was even saying, they are always in some sort of a trouble because it's usually my uncle did this to me, my what did this to me. But now the family said, no, let's just keep it quiet
Within the family.
within the family. The scars that it brings, I've seen a lot of scars on people who left it as a family. It was not dealt with. They just sidelined her and they kept moving on. Whenever she tried to talk about it, it was as if she's opening up old wounds. She's just supposed to keep quiet about it. And I think that's where we get it wrong all the time. It's that the secrets which we have as a family are keeping us at bondage. You know, we are prisoners of our own secrets. We can't really enjoy one community TV, watching TV together, because what happens when whoever we are watching brings out the triggers, you know, and then we start to look at each other. But this is happening in my family. Because
And by that time, you know it's happening, but everybody wants to act as if it's not happening.
it's not happening.
Why is that? Why can't we just deal with it once and for all? We express our bitterness. We say what we want to say. We ask for forgiveness if need be, and we move on.
Yeah.
Because you trying to bury it, it's not going to just disappear.
Yeah.
I think the more you even try to hide it, the deeper it becomes. Because there's going to come that time that one day where everybody's just going to, or somebody's just going to explode.
Yeah.
And then you
And
wonder,
then,
but then
you know,
what happened? But then because of that wound,
it has always been.
you are not healing it.
Yes.
And once you don't heal it, the infection becomes worse.
Yeah.
And then it's more damaging. But I just think as families, as parents, and that's what I'm trying to do with my kids. My kids need need to understand that I'm also human.
Yeah.
My kids need to understand that I also went through certain things. Not in a sense, I think parents as well, they're afraid that somehow when we know a certain part of them that they're not happy about, that we might end up disrespecting them
Yeah.
and not seeing them for who. I think that's why, because here's another one. I was speaking to my grandmother and my aunts the other time. So when it comes to this say, yeah, hore, Musadi, o tshwara thipa ka bogale, and Musadi wa bekesela. And so we're just talking about things that they go through, what they went through. It was a nice environment. However, within that, then I noticed that they went through the most with their partners. And I remember I was asking them, but why don't you guys talk about these things? Because now with me, when I was coming and reporting that I no longer want to be with this person because this person is doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Clearly what I was sharing, it was nothing new to them. But they acted holy as if what I'm coming up with,
They did not
it's out of
understand it.
this world.
Yes.
And if ever, and I was like, why don't you just explain what do you mean when you say Musadi wa begeze? What does it mean? Because you've walked through that, you've been somebody's wife or partner for years or whatever the case may. Maybe you've got certain things that you can elaborate on. But I think they just that our parents, they've got this fear that once we find out certain things about them. And I think the reason why they're afraid of that is because they haven't forgiven themselves for the mistake they've also made. They haven't made, they haven't admitted or acknowledged to themselves that I'm also human. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I need to just take accountability and move on with it. And the minute they can do that, then I think it will be easy for our parents to just be open and tell us this. I call them open secrets because they think it's a secret, but everybody or some people around, or it's known within the family, but it's a secret. You know the secret where everybody knows it, but somehow it's a secret at the same time because it's not
It's a secret on
because it's not openly discussed. And then because the other time I was telling them and then you come, I know because there's an open secret or a firstborn.
Yeah. He's not your child.
It's not this guy, it's the guy that you said. So there's an open secret about that. There's an open secret. So clearly, by the time you were young, clearly you were busy with more than 2 people.
But wait. Oh, just explain to us, what do you mean when you say it's an open secret?
Okay, I'll tell you what I mean when I say it's an open secret. What I'm saying...
Let me fix your microphone. I need to hear this properly.
So when I say something, it's an open secret, it's basically the owner to the secret does not openly discuss it.
All right.
And then they think, nobody knows. Or whoever they told, that person is not going to share it with other people.
Yes.
So an open secret is where you've got a family member, an aunt, for example, and she's married.
Yeah.
And then everybody knows that the kids, they don't belong to the husband.
Everybody knows.
Like maybe the other sisters, but there's that gossip in the family where everybody knows, you don't know. Actually, that child is not actually, And then you sit in there and then she wants to act holy that Bonita or, While clearly, by the time they were young, she was busy, maybe got 2 or 3 people at the same time. And maybe by that time, we choose, okay, this one is more stable. And then you are the father. So those are the type of the open secret where even with your father, you walking on the street and then they'll tell you, that's your father's child. And then you look at the person and you're like, okay, so you don't need a DNA.
It's identical.
But then the owner,
Of the
because
secret.
the secret hasn't told anybody in the household. Like my father, for example, a father will come say, I've got other kids outside. No, he doesn't. So it's his secret, but it's known
It's
that there are other kids
but he
besides this one.
still believes.
He
deep down.
still believes. So it's an open secret.
Yeah.
So our parents, our aunts, whatever, hey, these people, they've done stuff, ne? They've done stuff. And I just think they should come tell us when they reprimand me. They should tell you, hey, I know I've been there. That's why that, and I learned from that. And not come up when we know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And then you come here and try to reprimand me, maybe say, hey, Lebo, let's say, for example, maybe you're still young and you still want to date. And then they want to give you a lecture. Don't date, you must be.
Yeah.
And then by the time you almost were while you were my age,
You were very, very hectic.
you're very hectic.
But let's talk about, I'm picking up three things from what you've been talking about. First of all is that I believe that seeds are like, secrets are like seeds which we plant ourselves. And I think the second thing that I wanted to ask you was, when we say, like, Moselu Tshwara Thipa ka fa bogaleng, and when we say, umfazi uyabekezela, what is it that you need to be patient for? You understand? And then now the third thing is that now, why do we involve our kids in such a mess? Why can't we just be like you'll find that people will say, I've never heard my parents argue. The only difference that maybe they argue in their bedroom. That is, for me, the best thing that they can ever do for the kids, because somehow it causes trauma for the kids. When they see parents constantly fighting, they think this is life.
Yeah.
But when we say a woman must be patient, to what extent does the woman be patient? To what? Because you can't come here and say, when your husband is beating you, you must be patient.
Sheba, I'm talking as a woman. I have never got an answer to that. I've asked, what do you mean about this thing? Because my take is, there are certain things when I explain it in my own terms.
Well,
this is my own terms. When they say, for me, it's basically saying with life, there are challenges. So with my partner, we are going to experience certain things within our marriage. And then when we experience those storms, I must not be quick to walk away. I must walk through the marriage.
Oh, yeah.
So that will be things like he lost his job.
Oh, yeah.
Then I don't have to leave you. Things like now we have to downgrade and to whatever. That's part of it. Things like my husband now is sick. And then I have to take care of him. And then, we've got kids, we lose our kids. You know, those things. Things that I don't believe it's part of it. It's things where you find a person silly, where a person does not want to grow up, where a person does not want to take the responsibility as a partner, and they do things. Number one, we know you asked me to get married to you. Then why do you ask me to get married to you? And then at the same time, you are going to be the first person who's going to cheat and live as if you are not married. And while we know the consequences of you doing these things, what is it going to do in our household? You cannot say you love me and then you are the same person who hurts me each and every single day and beats me up and tell me all these horrible things and make me feel like less of a person. That I honestly don't believe that we should stick for such. Personally speaking, I will not stick to such. Seasons, trials, and tribulations, yes. Storms that come that we did not plan. Then we need to stick together and say, this is the life we said we're going to do it. We're going to do this life thing together. So since we're going to do this life thing together, whatever we're going to face on this life, we're going to do it together. But not the ones we, on purpose, I honestly say it's on purpose. I don't want to lie. On purpose, a person just decides to be, I don't know what, to your life, and decides to be the negative or the opposite of what they know or they're supposed to be to you, and then you tell me that ke bekezele and I must just be patient. Patient for what? How many beatings can I get as a person? Or should I wait for you to beat me to my grave? Then that's me being patient. So this is how I explain, because they still could not explain to me as to what does this thing ya gore he mosadi o dirang. I honestly say that yes, we can deal with the storms of life, but I'm not gonna deal with nonsense.
Yeah, let's be honest. When we talk about being patient, I think in most cases we are referring to what life will hit you both with, not the other way around.
Yeah.
When we say through thick and thin, good or bad, we literally talking about the external things that are brought inside.
Yes.
Not because I am doing this to you.
And then 1 minute whether you're gaining weight, you're all happy,
Yeah.
having the life, whatever, the best time of your life. And at the same time, the poor partner is losing weight. They're going to hospitals. They're having medication for depression.
Yeah.
And then it's also the same with men, where the poor man is suffering, he's got depression,
Yeah.
and the woman is living her life. And then we call that, then there's, because it's not balanced out. Hey?
It's not even fair for someone to look straight into eyes and say you must just be patient. He's a man. All men do that.
Nonsense, she.
I think that's just total nonsense. Let us be
And
honest.
I think as well as we just making people worse, man. I think we're not just, because when are we going to reprimand? It's the same thing with a child. When you tell a child, oh, right, he's like that, he's naughty. Do you think he'll even bother being a good child where they know themselves that they're being told that they're being naughty?
Yeah.
So you're just giving them something to just continue. I just think we just need to change this mindset. We just need to change the way we talk. And for us to have a difference or to have a change in our household, it starts with the things that we say and we tolerate within our household.
It's as simple as that. We need to be assertive, especially when we realize that things are not going as planned. Because poor kids are now being admitted to psych rewards, because whenever they start talking about whatever is bothering them that is happening in your household, they become enemy number one. And then you start treating them like an outsider, only because the poor child could not contain anymore the type of things that are happening in their households, where he was or she was told to keep it a secret, keep quiet, don't tell people what's happening in the household.
But then I want to ask you as well, will you then, okay, besides the ones even when they tell you to keep it a secret, but let's say you found out that open secret, will you approach your parent and tell them that you know?
I would. Knowing me, I would. Why? I don't like keeping another person's laundry, you know? Because
especially if ever it's weighing
exactly,
down. Okay.
Exactly. Because look, I can't look at you the same way.
Yeah.
Let's just start there.
That's the thing where they don't understand.
Yeah.
Because it does affect
The
our
relationship,
level
yeah.
of not even respect, but like you said, the way we look at our
I
parents.
mean, imagine you've been so respectful of your father and you find out that he's got more than 10 kids. I mean, certain things need you to be like, what is this? Like my father? No, it can't be my father, because you know your father as a model who speaks for families and who stands up for families. But then you find out there's this thing that he's hiding. But to make it worse, your mom knows this secret. Your mom knows very well what your father is doing, or your father knows exactly what your mom is doing.
And they're still keeping it as
Do you understand? I mean, imagine now, your child meets somebody who looks exactly like them. And you're like, oh, but why do you look at me? Or why do you look like me? You know? Or people be telling you on the streets, Nochad, you know? Yeah, that's embarrassing, man.
It is.
You know, you find, I didn't know my sisters. I didn't know I had sisters, you know? I knew that I had sisters, but it was just something that was at the back of my mind. I didn't know that I was the second born of my father. I didn't know those things. I found out, I think, about 6 years ago that I actually have two sisters, and whom okay, they've got different parents, different mothers, but still they are my sisters. But I didn't know that. Now imagine I meet them during life. During life, we meet, we like, hey,
And you date.
and we date.
And you're a child.
I can promise you that a lot of people are marrying their sisters out there,
And
but
they
they
don't
don't even know. We are marrying people we should be calling brothers, but we don't even know. We don't even know.
Yeah, no,
And that's the
sad.
secrets that our families are keeping from us. And sometimes it's going to start hurting when we find out that, hey, your father. People come to me, they tell me about my younger brother. Like, yo, your brother is like so and so and so. Now I'm thinking to myself, if I had a father, or if my father was still alive, well, if I had, it's not like I made myself or something. If my father was still alive and the way that he was, I would also be hearing stories
Yeah.
that you've got a sister so and so, or your father likes fighting a lot.
No, but honestly, I think can our parents out there, can you just take accountability, man, for your life. Take accountability for your mistakes. Take accountability because now you're putting us as your kids in an awkward situation. I don't want to lie. Number one, the Bible says I must respect my mother and father. Do you know how difficult it is where this person is coming to you and reprimand you and act as if,
You're like, yeah.
and by the time you're looking at them like, hey, if ever I were you, I'll just quiet.
Go back somewhere.
But then you are in a predicament because now you don't know. You can't really say. Because I can remember some of our parents are just scary. Like you can't even talk to them. You get it. And then by the time and then they're surprised, okay, somehow that disrespect or your level of dissatisfaction is going to show up one way or the other. Then tomorrow they'll be surprised, but why is this child like this towards me? Can we just have an open communication? Not that me telling my I know it's a bit embarrassing. Me telling, it is embarrassing when it comes from me when I have to tell you that, hey, apparently I heard 1, 2, 3 about you.
Yeah.
But it was not gonna be embarrassing when it was like you say with your siblings, when you grew up and then they told you that you've got siblings. There's nothing that's gonna come out of that disclosure that's gonna make you feel, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when it comes from you and you have to bring it to your parents, then you hear how it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, congratulations to all the fathers out there who are making sure that they're stepping up, and the mothers who are also there and stepping up at the same time. We want to say, look, let us not be holding secrets.
Yeah, before you talking about you, that do you know there are mothers who even hide their own kids as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you hear my sister or and they like.
But 20 years from now or 10 years from now, somebody's telling you, remember that child that my sister has? Yeah, your sister's child. Well, he's not my sister's child. She's my child.
They don't even tell. I know somebody where people have got open secrets out there. Let me not disclose. But all I'm saying is it's not only men who hide their kids.
Yeah.
I have seen it where even mothers hide their own kids. For now, like I've got 2 kids. I'm sure before somebody takes me on a second date, like that's the first thing I say. I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
If ever you think this is too much for you, then go.
Yeah, because we need to cut clean, man, you know?
And especially for women, because the kids are more of, even the guys can get away with it, because then obviously depending where the mother of the kids are.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're just scattered all over. And sometimes shame the poor guys, they don't even know all of them. But however, though, why not just, when you meet a person, I like this say out there, take me the way I am. What you see is what you get. Why not be honest and tell, this is what this is who I am. This is what I come with.
Yeah.
Take it or leave. Then you've got a choice as a person that, am I willing to deal with this and continue with this person, or is this secret too much for me? Then I need to walk away. But we can never hide the thing about the truth is that they always have a way of coming out.
Like I keep saying, they're like seeds that we plant on the ground, and we keep watering them by not speaking out and by allowing them to own us. One day, a family gathering, you'll find there's one member of your family who had a lot to drink.
But happy,
then
we
they
don't
start-
worry, family gathering. By that time, the owner of the secret is facing up. They can't speak anymore. They've passed away. It's the funeral.
Oh.
And then we, the ones who are behind, now we have to deal and argue with people while the owner of the stuff. And there's that say, and then you are there.
hectic, yeah.
Now we have to deal with the consequences because somebody just failed to put things out there.
And now we are dealing with cousins and brothers that we've never met before.
I know it's sad, man. I know. I know people who have lost the house where the parents passed away, and then other siblings came. Obviously, the parents knew whatever, and now they had to fight among themselves, and then they lost everything. No, our parents are not doing us any justice. Our parents
very sad,
I just know, man.
They're just careless with the truth. I think what I feel sorry for is that living in the same household with the same person you've been calling your father for like 30 years, and then on a graceful day you find out that he's not your father. And the poor guy also.
Shame. By the time you thought,
Yeah.
that's the
That one hurts.
it
hurts.
Not for not that person or dangerous.
Yeah.
A woman who lies like that, basically, they're capable of killing you.
Yeah, because now your kids are calling him grandpa, or else they're supposed to be calling somebody else. You've been calling him your father forever, not because he was providing you or for you, but because you actually believe that he gave birth to you.
And besides that, do you know that sometimes you'll find that maybe you've wasted even this guy's life?
Yeah.
Because maybe whatever happened and you fell pregnant, and because you wanted, not that maybe ideally you were not even his soulmate or somebody that he loved, but because he wanted to do what is right, and then he stopped whatever and committed to you. So imagine making that sacrifice of saying, I'm going to do right by this person, and only find out that the sacrifice that you made for 30 years was worth nothing.
Yeah, because
It was for nothing.
yeah.
No, that's just...
So yeah, we need to uproot our secrets, Lebo.
Yeah, I know.
As much as we think people will get hurt, we need to stop thinking for them and taking decisions for them.
I think the hurt, the truth does not hurt as much as the consequence for that secret being revealed. Because now, at least when the truth is out there, you find ways openly on how to deal with it. Now, when they find out in an awkward way, then it's not even easy to even deal with that. And sometimes it's already too late, or there's no other way. Imagine by that time you're 60 years,
Yeah.
and you're only finding out where you're going to make your own child.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. So those are partly some of the secrets that we're talking about. I'm seeing a lot of teenagers now coming out, especially on this app, where people are talking about a lot of things that is going wrong in their lives. But the ones that is being mostly highlighted that I've seen is how my father used to treat me when I was a child, and how my mother brought me into a marriage that was not conducive for a child to grow into. So there's a lot of things that are happening within our families, and that is when we need to find our grounds. Families, it's very important. It is more of your backup. Should life starts giving you flames, you know where to run. But if your household or your family is also not safe, where is the child supposed to go? Because we've been harboring secrets within us. My sister is not my sister. My brother is not my brother. I'm only finding out now that I'm older. Why? Who said I would not understand when I was younger? Because living with the truth is better than living with a lie.
Yeah.
Because it's not real. So if you know deep down that there are certain things you have not told your family, it's high time. I think we need to take this video as part of the decision-making process that as much as I feel like my wife would not understand, it is the kids who are also suffering because they are kept in the dark, as if they have been hidden from the public, which is also painful because you'll find that your father should have helped you a lot in life, should have taken you to school, should have been there for you. And culturally, I think every culture demands that you take responsibility for your seed. So I think it's high time we uprooted our secrets so that every family member can know what we are dealing with, because you're gonna hear it from other family members who are talking about you behind your back without even you knowing, and it becomes as if they are gossiping. But the truth is that you do not belong in this family, but they haven't told you yet, or possibly the person that you are married to is married to somebody else. Deep secrets. And then you find that you are
I honestly think we're complicating life for ourselves. We are complicating
because
life for ourselves.
we complicate it through trying to be looked at as people who are perfect, who've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
People who say, you know what, A is A. We're talking about people with high principles. You find that while you are still married, you are still behaving like you are not married. So that's just the issues that we are facing as families. And like I said, I feel sorry for a lot of women who are keeping it deep down. Not saying that women are not, women are very good at keeping secrets. Very good at keeping secrets also, but they hurt in most cases. And that's why there's a saying that says when two elephants are fighting, it's the ground that suffers. But anyway, people, that's where we leave it for today, Level.
Yeah, no. Today it was deep.
Somewhere one way or the other.
It was deep because I did not understand the impact of this topic until now. I've got a revelation, not only within my household, but within our family. Like, I just realized that, like, we made an example that, and I just realized how deep this thing that literally every household, they've got this open secret because names are just coming up on my mind. And no, we need to fix it. Parents, let's fix it. If ever your parents have done it and we are also parents, can we cut it? Can it end with us? Can we get to a point where we are not gonna let? Yes, other ones it's not ours to care. There are certain things that are for our parents, and we cannot carry their stuff. But if ever it's gonna come to impact your descendants, then it's a different thing altogether. But we need to end it. We need to cut it. You cannot. That's why they say, tell the truth and the truth will set you free. There's a reason behind that. We cannot put ourselves in jail, in our own jail, because that's literally it. Because now you surrounding yourself with this cloud that you're afraid to just let it open and open the gates and be free. Let's just free ourselves.
Yeah, because freeing yourselves, talking about that actually, I was having a conversation. Okay, I was not having a conversation with this person, but he sort of felt he needed to tell me what happened. He made a mistake. Just as me and you are having a discussion, but they were talking about other family members who are not there. So basically they were gossiping. And he's like, and I was not aware that my phone was recording. You know how technology just does people wrong? Sure. And now this guy was talking about how his sister is behaving, how his mother, he was talking about all of them one by one, and he was talking about deep secrets that, like you said, it's an open secret. Nobody knows in the family, but we know, but we don't know. And he said to me, my phone sent it to the family group. Because by the time he was done talking, he realized that, no man, his phone has been recording. But because he was not in that moment of being safe and deleting.
The truth will always find its way to come out.
So now they're not talking as a family because he has decided to tell everybody one by one without even being aware.
But chances are now you're not talking, but when you look back, was it a lie?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That it is something that happened.
For the fact that your things are out there.
Yeah. That's the
things that you are afraid to deal with them yourself.
They become
so now you're gonna be angry at me because I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. Because now everybody in the group who didn't know, now they know. because like you said, it's an open secret, I didn't know that but me and you have been together for, like, we've just been chilling, but you never told me that you know what I did or you know what I'm doing. So you've just been cool with me. So now that the secret is out, it's like, how could you be with me every day without telling me that you know? Then it becomes a problem. So that's hence I'm saying technology can be a pain in the butt sometimes, because it takes things out, things that this means this person has been keeping these things very hard, and they're like, yeah. So he just wanted to burst out and become this person who's like, yeah, they are doing 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't know that I'm aware of 1, 2, 3. Only to find out that, hey, the phone go record and send it directly to the people you are talking about. So that's the painful part about holding in the truth or holding the secret. It's not yours to carry.
Yeah.
You understand? If you are like me, you're like, yeah, mind your own business, moving right along, then I think your life will be in a better position to prosper, because you're like, hey, that's not my water to carry. So kids also need to stop carrying their parents' problems and troubles and misbehaviors and whatever's. We need to stop carrying that water for our parents.
But here's the thing. They are your parents. Once you care for somebody, it's not that easy to just ignore certain things.
Yeah.
You are going to carry it. It's going to weigh you down, because I love you. You're my parents. I don't like this. I don't appreciate this thing. So I cannot easily say, I mind my own business.
Yeah.
I cannot just sit there, because now my heart is crying for my siblings who are out there that I don't know. And who knows, maybe I'm the only child, and I've been longing to have a sibling.
Yeah.
And now I hear that there are other siblings out there, and I should easily have a relationship with them. And now here I am in this household all alone, the only child. I'm miserable, and I long for that relationship with another brother or sister of mine.
Yeah, and that's the problem, people. Look, man, I said an hour ago that this is where we leave it, and it looks as if we're still going to be here talking about it. So I'm just gonna pull the plug and say, look, let us go and be people who do not want other people to be carrying our waters for us. If you did something, don't tell me. If you don't want people to know, don't tell me, because you'll find that Lebo has got people that she trusts also. And those people have got other
No,
people
but
that they
before, I know you say you, but there's the thing about the secret.
Yeah?
If ever you can't keep it for yourself,
Yeah. How do
can you expect another person to keep
Yeah, but nah.
it? When yourself, you did not trust yourself with your own secret.
And then you trust me. Why would you do that?
One way, then you don't trust yourself.
Why would you do that? It's going to be heavy on me too. I'm also human,
Just like you.
just like you. And if you failed, I'm going to fail drastically. If you failed with your own secret.
So don't be angry for people for telling your secret, because you broke the secret yourself.
Exactly. And yeah, if it owns you, then keep it to yourself, bro. Because some of us are email, or we're gonna start telling people. We're gonna be like, hey, I don't know. I once met this guy. His name is. Oh, to find out, or the person you're telling knows me, or knows people that know me. Oh Lord. This reminds me of the Taxi Chronicles. You never know who's in the taxi, but you are there talking about people. But anyway, that's where we leave it for today, people. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.